We just want to give you a feel for the county of Mayo. You've heard a little bit about it already, but just to give you a picture of the county that you're in, and where you might be spending some of the time over the next couple of days, a little bit of the story of the county. It's great to see so many people, and already to have chatted to people who come all the way from the coast, from San Francisco, New York. We've met some people from Europe, and there are even people here from Ackle, I see. And it's great to have such an assemblage. Thank you for making the time to be with us. And so that you get to the meat of the conference, which is about drones and data. I'm going to run through this fairly quickly. As I said, I want to tell you a little bit about the story of Mayo and a bit about the vision that we have for the county and where we see the future going. And when we talk about vision for the county, we use 4 words. You said putting up 3 fingers, and let's practice that. Sustainable, inclusive, prosperous and proud. Sustainable in the sense of what we do has got to be able to continue to be done. Inclusive in the sense that there's got to be a place in the community of Mayo for diverse talents, diverse views, diverse abilities. Everyone's got to be able to make a contribution. Prosperous in the sense of being able to look after the needs of people, not rich in the sense that we went mad a couple of years ago here and possibly elsewhere with homes in the Bahamas and Bulgaria and everywhere else. We don't need that, we just need to be able to look after our needs, and proud in the sense of having a spirit of place that anchors you to a place, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go through. Our role as a local authority can be defined in many ways, but we like to think of it as being making good places and making good communities. And a big part of that at the moment, a big part of the challenge for Irish local authorities is in the area of enterprise, because as you're probably aware, we've come through a pretty big falling off an economic cliff over the last 5-6 years, and jobs are a big priority for us. It's for that reason that the Taoiseach set up the enterprise and investment units and local enterprise offices all over the country. And the way that we see that working is in terms of collaboration, which is why we're so glad to see so many leading experts in their fields here. And if we can get some synergies going in this place, you don't know what might happen in the future. In terms of Mayo's story, past, it's a very unique place. It has a unique heritage and it has a unique people. The heritage goes back 5,000 years. The largest Neolithic landscape in the world is on the north coast of Mayo. It's about 45 minutes from here. It's measured in square miles, and we have a long tradition of habitation and of pilgrimage and religious devotion. You're probably also aware of our more recent and slightly sadder heritage in terms of the famine, in terms of people forced to emigrate. Our population in this county in 1841 was 400,000, it's now 130. That's 65–70% loss. There's a plus to that as well in a second. It has led to a very resilient people and very independent communities and very welcoming community, and you'll find that out over the next couple of days. So we like to describe Mayo today as being vibrant, creative, industrious, and can-do. And that's the kind of country that we're aiming to build. In terms of the stats, the area is about 5,500 square kilometres and the population 130,000. But because of that famine thing, we talked about a little bit a minute ago, and David referred to it earlier. If you take the Irish diaspora of 70 million and you take even 5%, and that's an underestimate by quite some distance, as being from this county, that gives you 3.5 million people with Mayo DNA around the globe, and they are everywhere. Believe me, if you start noticing the red and green flag of Mayo, it crops up in the most wonderful places at the most wonderful times. Check it out. Very good at a lot of things, arts and food. The bit in the middle, I'm not actually from County Mayo, so I can talk about Mayo football with impunity. Not as good perhaps as we should be in that area, but we'll maybe do that. In terms of quality of life, both David and Cahirla have talked about the Irish Times. The Irish Times is our paper of record for those who are not from the island. It's the New York Times and the Washington Post rolled into one. And they say something is true, it is. There ran 2 competitions nationally. The best place to live in Ireland was won by Westport, which you'll see. And the best place to go wild, which was last year, was won by Erris, which is in North Mayo, which is north of where you're going to be spending your time tomorrow. In terms of tourism, we have this fabulous landscape. I mean, you will see it for yourselves, I'm not going to labour the point. And we have been placing the county as the adventure capital of Ireland. And in terms of the Wild Atlantic Way, which is our rival to the Pacific Coast Highway, or the other major touring routes in the globe. This is the longest coastal touring route in the world, and we'd like to think that we are at the heart of it. We've been developing discovery points. These both have an American connection. They're built as spirit-based projects by a team from the Catholic University of Washington, DC. This one is on Inishturk Island, and this is around the Blowhole at Ballycastle. And we'll bore you with the detail and the story of that a bit later. But you have this just gorgeous coastline and gorgeous environment. But we've also got this story of enterprise and creativity. These are all the indigenous small businesses and the big multinationals. And what you may not know is that every molecule of legal Botox on the planet comes from the town of Westport, which is all of 20 minutes from here. The largest Coca-Cola concentrate plant in the world is in Ballina, which is about half an hour from here. We've also got Hollister and Baxter, and this is the Allergan plant, where just right now that's actually a model, an image of a model, but the building isn't at that stage, it's just topping out. It was a $350 million investment which was run in the face of global competition. So the multinationals here, the foreign companies here, have rooted and settled, and we'd like to think that that is possible for anyone. The future as we see it is going to be about connectivity, communication, and again that collaboration, that synthesis. And in terms of connectivity, one of the things that we have been working on for quite some time is this new transatlantic fibre optic cable. It's gone through a number of iterations. Its latest name is America-Europe Connect, and it is going to, it's within a couple of percentage points of being official, it is going to come ashore at Assahi in North Mayo, transit the country and head across the Irish Sea into England. It will be the shortest, lowest latency link between the major financial markets of London and New York and Frankfurt on the planet when it's built, and it opens up tremendous opportunities for this county. And we're very excited about it. I think Eddie may talk about that a little bit later on. In terms of energy and communications, wind resource, biomass resource, I'm going to labour the point. Wave energy, we talked a little bit about floating wave power earlier. The wave energy atlas on the left, the red is obviously the most potent source of energy, and the closest that source of high energy comes to a viable market is actually off the west coast of Ireland. And the National Wave Energy Test Site is actually going in, as we speak, on the coast of Mayo. Again, opportunities there. Region covers all the way from Sligo to Galway, so anyone who's been listening to propaganda in Dublin that you must locate and do business in Dublin, you don't. There's plenty of people around here, no bother retaining them either. We've got an international airport access via Knock, Ireland West Airport Knock, which has actually got connectivity to Gatwick, direct flights to Gatwick, and is also connected to New York from there. Roads we won't bore you with, except that they say that there are significant investments going into our roads network, and they will not be an issue. Coca-Cola export, as I've said, from North Mayo, and they are very high volume, high weight material. So export not a problem. Future, we talked about sustainable, inclusive, prosperous, proud. We're trying to build an image and a branding around that.